Hi guys, Howzit? Welcome trek amal to my Afrikaans-speaking followers, Kia ora to any Kiwi whānau that I have following, and welcome back to everyone else. Sorry about the delay in the post-game video. This has been arguably one of the most difficult videos for me to ever have to make. There is a lot to unpack, not just about the game this past Saturday. It's everything in the lead up and everything after that I've had to deal with. As somebody making content and having opinions about this game from this side of the globe and having the accent that I have, we'll get to that a little bit later, but I know why you guys are here. You want to hear my breakdown, my prediction that we would win, and a lot of the ire I got in the online community for this, and the realization that, I kind of know what I'm talking about occasionally. But there's a lot to unpack in this game, so we'll go ahead and get into it right now. A final score of 24-13 as the Springboks arise victorious in front of a capacity crowd at Aviva Stadium in Dublin, Ireland this Saturday. I predicted a win. I don't think I predicted the means at which we got said win. So we're going to go ahead and start off quick with this one. At the third minute, see it off the line out to Jasper Fiza, who gets it to Damien Diolende, who gets it to Colby, who gets it to Damien Valemza, a.k.a. Gaza, and one of the most beautiful tries that we've seen this season and this year. I'll see if I can throw a graphic of it up. Right there, I think my favorite part was this part at the end of it. Just kind of showing the attitude of the Springboks going into this one. The harsh Irish, I don't really have to say anything bad about the Irish, but the crowd was definitely not on our side. 3 minutes later, Thomas Atoy goes in to make a tackle on O'Brien, and Sasha joins in, and it's a shoulder. Now, you can go back and look at different angles, and it looks like he's trying to wrap and everything. There is no card. There is a penalty. Sam Prendergast does elect to kick to touch. This is a very great source of contention. I've consulted with some of my referee friends, and they've told me that that was the correct call. It should have only been a penalty, although every Irishman is screaming that it should have been a card. But they'll be screaming that a lot for the rest of the game. Strong attack after the line out, 8+ phases, and Ireland turns it over on the try line. Like it's just lots of back and forth for the next 9 minutes or so. An offside penalty on the Springboks at the 18th minute. Pendergrast does elect to kick. He does miss it. He's 0 of 1 kicking on the day. He misses it. Hits the goalpost. Bounces off. Ireland retains possession. Tag Byrne does cross, but it goes to the TMO, and you find out that James Ryan, a high tackle, and I mean it was pretty fucking ugly on Malcolm Marks. Malcolm got the last laugh on this one today, but 6 minutes later, Bowen Venter crosses out left after a great run from Jasper Fiza, but it was a forward pass going to Ron Norkia leading up, so there is no try. It remains 5-0 so far. 1 minute later, we find out James Ryan has been upgraded from a bunker call to a 20-minute red card. And I'm kind of questioning, Franco Monster, Lou de Jager, those weren't 20-minute cards. Okay, then. But 2 minutes later, offside on Ireland. We do kick to touch. The maul collapses by Ireland. We get a scrum. A lot of scrumming in this game. 3 minutes later, TMO check after Moody runs into O'Brien. There is a penalty. There is no card. Scrum to South Africa. O'Brien off for HIA. Jack Crowley comes in at this point. 2 minutes later, the veteran, the guy who has found a second wind in his old age, I don't like to say old, but older age, Kobus Reinek. What a fucking treat we've gotten from Kobus this year. He crosses after a stalled scrum. on advantage. Prendergrass gets a yellow card. This is the beginning of a lot of that. 36th minute, down 2 men. Dan Sheehan, who I have said, and multiple times, is a generational talent there for Ireland. He does cross over. They were on advantage. Crowley is 101 kicking on the day. It is 12-7. 2 minutes later, 3 minutes later, Jack Crowley, yellow card. We get down in their end, and we are just attacking. Couple minutes later, 42nd minute, Andrew Porter, yellow card. Minute after that, penalty try awarded. The officiating had about enough of their crap. Just gave us the penalty try. So we go into the sheds at halftime, 19-7. And at this point, this is. Yeah, I was hoping for something a bit better than this, but not so much so far. We get back started in the second half. A penalty on the Springboks at the 42nd minute. Pendergrass elects to kick. He is 1 of 2 on the day. It is 19-10. 3 minutes later, Sasha crosses after absolute failure in Ireland at the scrum, which just becomes the story for the next 15 minutes. He does kick. He does make the kick. It is... he does miss the kick. He's 1 of 3 on the day. It is 24-10 at the 45th minute. Now, we spend the next basically 15 minutes scrumming, basically. 54th minute, not rolling away, penalty on Gerhard Steenekamp. Pendergrass does elect to kick. He does nail it. He's 2 of 3 on the day. And, yeah. Well, this is where it gets real ugly real quick. We had been told, the Porter, the Sheehan, that front row for Ireland is so dominant. And they basically spent the next 12 to 15 minutes getting their shit handed to them. Badly. Unfortunately, really no points to show for it. But at the at the 62nd minute, like I said, Paddy McCarthy repeated repeated infringements. They get a yellow at the 67th minute or 62nd minute. 70th minute, Moody chip kicks, but Crowley is on him. Jack Crowley's really solid and knocks it away at the last moment. 77th minute, Oddhis Snyman gets called for a yellow. They bring out the card. But then it comes back once the TMO realizes that the Irish player had stepped into touch before then the action happened. So skip it. He comes right back. A minute later, yellow on Grant Williams for not rolling away. And that's kind of the gist of it. So what should we talk about? Where did things go wrong for these guys? Did it go wrong in the, with the repeated yellow cards? Did it go wrong at the 20th minute, the 34th minute, the 40th minute, the 43rd minute? Where did it go wrong? The argument has been seen on social media that, hey, you only put up 24 points on 12 guys, as if, you get an asterisk for that. I don't recall it being a problem for us against France or Italy. And we were down to 13 players at one point. Did we run up the score on Ireland? No. But we did something more important than that. Is we absolutely broke them. We broke them. That scrum that they'd been screaming about for months was non-existent. The Springboks bodied Ireland this weekend. They bodied them. They bullied them. So the whole you're 1 and 4 in the last 5 now goes you're now 2 and 3 in the last 5. This was an ugly game. The Springboks could have scored a lot more. But based on what I saw after repeated scrums, we weren't trying to run up the score. We were trying to break them. And we did. We did. The discipline, the Springboks didn't really have to do shit in the second half, except keep their nose clean. Because Ireland had already imploded at that point. Now, I've been seeing a lot on social media, oh, we outscored you in the second half. Cool, if rugby was only the second half. It's two halves, at least from what I recollect about the game. I had hoped that this game was going to be a lot stronger than it was, but I had also predicted in my video a 14 to 17 point victory. Because I know the reality of where this game is heading. I know the reality of where it is. The Springboks are head and shoulders above everybody right now. Facts. Even the rankings show that. A full 3 points ahead of the second place team. Now we've got England kind of doing their thing and rearing their head back up, and that's fine. We'll get to see them next year. But the fact of the matter was Ireland was never in this game. Ireland was never in this game. Period. It was the Springboks, and that's what it was. Ireland had a few flashes, maybe 20 minutes out of 80 minutes, but the Springboks controlled the game the entire time. Even my wife, who is a newer fan to rugby, as we're watching in the second half, of course, she's like, hey, this is kind of getting boring with all of this. And I'm pointing out everything to her. I'm like, notice what Ireland is doing every time they get the ball. It goes back to Sam Prendergast, and he kicks it into touch. Because they have no options whatsoever to move the ball. And we trot back, and we get ready for our line out. And we do this. Rinse, cycle, repeat. Rinse, cycle, repeat. And then it would come to guys changing out. We brought in the two props at the end of the first half and dominated on the scrum and got a penalty try out of it. When our guys went off the field, they walked off the field. When Ireland's player was went off the field, they limped off the field. I know a lot of people think the object of rugby is to score more points to beat the other team. That is true. But I think Rassie did a different route. He broke Ireland. They were absolutely useless. Their scrum, non-existent. Their tactics, kick to touch. Sam Prendergast, who they hold up on a very, very high pedestal, proved to everybody the kid plays no defense. The kid stands 3 meters behind the breakdown because he doesn't want to go up in the guts. Jack Crowley goes up in the guts. Sam Prendergast is afraid of getting tackled. And we got to see a couple of the guys staple him in the game. My favorite was in the 72nd minute when Peter stuffed a tackle. A tired Peter stuffed a tackle. Finally got a hold of him. He limped the rest of the game after that. Now, I want a strong Ireland. I want it. I have an Irish jersey. I have a Scottish. I want those teams to be strong. But I also want Irish fans to understand what actually happened Saturday. And I'll say it again. You got bodied by a superior team. You can bring up 2024 all you want, 2023, all these games. You never did that. You never broke the All Blacks. You beat them barely. The 38-3, that was a thrashing. That was before Rassie got involved. You never bodied the Springboks. They absolutely bodied you on Saturday. They bullied Ireland and beat them into submission and could have ran up the score, but I think it was more about the psychological effects of the game than it was the final score. So, once again, the Springboks are on another level. We've got one more game. It's going to be an exciting one for both sides, considering Wales has pretty much sent their entire squad home. It's outside of the international window. A lot of people are screaming, oh, you guys are just trying to pick on them. No, they agreed to the paycheck. Our team, all of our Japan guys are gone. Most of our URC guys. So what we're going to see next week is probably what would be a South Africa A squad. And I'm still predicting a massive victory. Because who has the player pool that South Africa has right now? No one. Not a single country. None. That's it. End of discussion. The Springboks finish out the year ranked number 1 where they belong. And yeah, it feels good. It feels nice to finish out the year, but we're not done yet. We've got one last game this upcoming weekend. It is the Thanksgiving holiday week here in the United States. So Wednesday, Thursday, I work through Wednesday, and then Thursday and Friday I'll be off. I'll be heading up to Medill, Oklahoma, like I do every year, to go see my in-laws with my wife Jess and our baby puppy Lady. Yeah, she was ecstatic for the cheese on Saturday. But I just want to take a chance once again, thank everybody who continues to support me on this channel, everything. It's been a real hectic time on social media. I'm probably going to make a video about some of the things that were said to me in the last week and some things that I just kind of noticed in the community. So be on the lookout for that one. But you know what? Springboks, we're number 1 for a reason, and we proved it this week. Cheers, guys.